Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of 2021 meeting dates was published in the Hunterdon County Democrat and the Eastern Express Times on January 14th, 2021, and posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall. Action may now be taken. Please join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call.
Columbus.
Here.
Perry.
Here.
Hughes.
Here.
Moore. Schwartz.
Here.
Grange.
Here.
And Lee.
Here. Okay. Motion to dispense with the reading of the January 28th, 2021 regular minutes.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus.
Yes.
Perry.
Yes.
Moore. Schwartz.
Yes.
Grange.
Yes.
And Hughes.
Yes.
Motion to approve the January 28th, 2021 regular minutes.
Move.
Second.
A roll call.
Columbus.
Yes.
Perry.
Yes.
Moore. Schwartz.
Yes.
Grange.
Yes.
And Hughes.
Yes.
Okay, before we go to public comments, I just want to make a couple of quick announcements. One, I did get a lot of emails and text messages, and I know we have on our communication list tonight, commendations for our team of DPW workers. We were, hit with a hard snowstorm. I know they were gone from Sunday until about Tuesday night away from their families, plowing our roads, salting, clearing Main Street. They really did an excellent job. So I want to give a shout out to them. I know everyone does already, but just here at our meeting. And then kind of along the lines of our unsung heroes, I want to shout out to our CERT team. CERT is a group of volunteers. They've been on call for many years. I think it started up right around after 9/11 to address any kind of anthrax type situation. Now we have them actively involved in the COVID vaccination effort. We all know trying to get appointments, there's not enough vaccination. Trying to get appointments has been very difficult. But what I think many people didn't know, and I didn't know, is that it's our own hybrid CERT team that is actually working the phones. They're at the clinics, greeting people and working triage, making sure people are feeling okay after their shots. So, and they're fully prepared if we do come to a point that the vaccinations are going to be mobile and they can come closer to hybrid. They're fully prepared to set up the pod, is what it's called, the point of dispensing. Distribution.
Yes.
Yeah. So if I can, Pat Bielchik, Joe Trelone, Craig Carlson, Bill Miller, Todd Honeycutt, Steve Dean, Gabby Oliver. Some of these people don't even live in Highbridge anymore, but they're on our CERT team, and we couldn't be more proud to hear the efforts that you guys have all been putting in as volunteers. So a huge thank to you guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah. One more thing, because I know it's a topic of conversation. I just wanted to address the garbage contract again. I understand people were surprised to get their quarterly bill and see the increase in the golf contract. We did try to address that as best we could here at council meetings. I did attempt to get the word out via the newsletter. Unfortunately, the utility bills beat the newsletter in the mail. There is an increase. We really did our due diligence, thanks to Bonnie and Lynn. They really put a lot of effort into reviewing these contracts. We looked at all the options that we could. We've held, even before I became mayor, that we've held these rates fairly low for a number of years by using our surplus. We were at a point that we just couldn't do that anymore, and our contract was up. So we really feel that we put forth the best contract that we could find for all the residents. It includes the bulk pickup, no more stickers. They're picking up the entire borough's garbage in one day. alternating weeks for recycling. So there's not a lot of trucks on the road. I know that, first of all, they started off in the middle of a snowstorm, but, as with any new contract, there's going to be some, blips in the road that we have to overcome. But let's give them a chance. We're doing our best to keep other utility rates, taxes. We're really working on controlling those expenses to offset these types of unexpected increases that we really have no choice but to address. So we're available. Any questions? We try to put these meetings on video so people can watch and see exactly what we're saying at council meetings. So there's really no question or, there shouldn't be any reason that there should be anything other than the facts out there. So we're here for Highbridge. So that's it. Does anyone else want to add anything on anything I just?
I will just say that every time there's a change like this, over the years, everyone's shocked no matter what we do. So, we've done I think you guys have done a very good job, Lynn and you, of trying to get this information out there. Done the due diligence. You've done everything you're supposed to do and a good job at it. So but someone will always complain. It's anytime the price goes up, someone's going to complain, and I understand that.
And anytime you get a new contract, then because of recycling now, it's not as easy to do as it used to be and everything, and the prices that they're giving us when we go out to bid are higher. And I was just impressed when I looked back through how since 2011 and 12, we started out at $60. We went up to $65. We kept that for 4 or 5 years. We were able to reduce it using some surplus back down to $60 for another 4 or 5 years. Then last year we did have to go up because of when we switched over, the contract was bought out in the middle and we had to do a little adjustment there. So we've really worked so hard to keep that low as long as we could.
And the rates are comparable to what other companies are charging. So it's really not out of line, especially with the additional bulk pickup that you have on a weekly basis. And I think we should give LMR some credit too for, like you said, starting right after the snowstorm. They did their best to try to get to everybody. If the roads they couldn't get through, they let us know, and we tried to get out there and salt them so they could make it through. They even came back an extra day to try to get what they had missed the first time around. So they put in their best effort, and hopefully next week will be a little easier for them.
Okay. Great. I am, again, a little surprised we don't see more attendees to ask questions about garbage, but that's okay because our comments are out in the world now. But we're opening up to public comments. It is the policy of the Borough Council that all public comments on an issue shall be limited to 5 minutes per person, and no person may make more than one comment per subject. Comments may be made on any subject pertaining to borough issue. Comments pertaining to public hearings should be saved for that section of the agenda. No debating between residents. Comments should be addressed to mayor and council at the public microphone.
And to do that, if you highlight your name, we use the raise your hand function. We can call on you if you do have any comments, and we'll ask you to unmute. And we have the timer here, and we'll go that way. If anybody has any public comments, please raise your hand. All right, Mayor.
All right. No public comments. Public hearings, ordinance 2021-003, additional funding for River Road Water Project. Motion to open the public hearing.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Moore. Schwartz.
Yes.
Strange.
Yes.
And Hughes.
Yes.
I think we addressed this kind of a little bit at the last meeting, but again, we need a little bit extra money to complete the River Road project, which takes the project from, I believe, the firehouse, is that correct? All the way to Solitude House, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and that's gonna complete that road project, so we're looking forward to it. Any comment from the public on that road project?
Same thing. If you use the raise your hand function, we will call on you.
Okay.
Okay.
Motion to close the public hearing for ordinance 2021-003.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Moore, Schwartz,
Yes.
Strange,
Yes.
and Hughes.
Yes.
Motion to adopt ordinance 2021-003.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Moore, Schwartz,
Yes.
Strange,
Yes.
and Hughes.
Yes.
Okay, introduction of ordinances. Ordinance 2021-007, amend chapter 184-8, trucks over certain weights excluded. Motion to introduce.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Moore, Schwartz,
Yes.
Strange,
I guess yes. I mean, I have to say I'm not real excited about reducing the
okay,
offenses, but yes, I introduced. Yes,
Okay.
that's fine.
and Hughes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Ordinance 2021-007 shall be published in the Express Times and or the Hunterdon County Democrat, along with the public hearing date of February 25th, 2021. Ordinance 2021-008 amends stormwater management plan. Motion to introduce.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Moore, Schwartz,
Yes.
Strange,
Yes.
and Hughes.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-008 shall be published in the Express Times and or the Hunterdon County Democrat, along with the public hearing date of February 25th, 2021. Okay, on to the consent agenda. I would like to pull out Resolution 085-2021. Does anybody else have anything to...
I would like to pull for discussion 091-2021.
I was going to agree on discussing 2020 085, Mayor, so I appreciate that too.
Okay. Motion to approve consent agenda resolution 086 through 090-2021.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
All right. Columbus,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Moore, Schwartz,
Yes.
Strange,
Yes.
and Hughes.
Yes.
Okay. I asked to pull the resolution 085 amend professional services contract just because some questions came up today, and everyone knows I believe in being transparent, so I want to address what this is exactly. So we have a couple things happening right now at the golf course. One is we're going to be reviewing Billy Casper's contract, which expires at the end of this year, possibly going out for proposal for new contracts. And at the end of next year, we're officially, finally finished paying off the golf course completely. Yeah. So, and then most recently, our golf committee had discussed possibly a new structure to house the golf carts themselves, which would be a pretty significant capital expense. A lot of ideas have been thrown around about this golf course and what could be done, whether it's housing or a new clubhouse or parking or sell it. I mean, so many ideas have come up. But at the end of the day, we really don't know what we can do. We have no documentations that gives us the regulatory teeth to do anything. So what we discussed with Darlene Green and Ed McManaman, who of course is our bond attorney, is that now would be an excellent time to put together a redevelopment plan for the golf course, similar to like what we did with 100 West Main more than 10 years ago. So, but at least that tells us and what the community wants to see in that space. Without that, we really can't do anything other than say, oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea, and then it doesn't go anywhere. So Mazer's very interested in taking this on. Again, it's the stars are aligned to do this type of project right now. It's not a commitment to do anything. It's not saying we're going to build housing. It's not saying we're, putting a clubhouse. It's really not saying we're doing anything. It's saying what we can do. And by including this as part of an overall redevelopment plan, it really gives the borough a tremendous amount of flexibility under a redevelopment plan, as opposed to just trying to do something on our own,
Exploring options.
Right. So I'm pretty excited about it. I'll be perfectly honest. I did speak with George. George and I have spoken a lot about the golf course. There's tremendous opportunity there. So let's see what we can do. I mean, the Highlands could come in and say you can't do anything, and we'll know that with this type of plan. So I think it's a good move for the borough, and that's why it's on the agenda tonight. But the timing, timing is everything, and timing is now.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of these things happening this year that the sooner we can get started on something like this, the better.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense to do it looking ahead. Once we pay it off, it would be nice to know what our options are right then and not have to wait on it then.
100%. Yeah. Anybody else have any questions or thoughts?
We can make a big roller coaster. Maybe that'll be in the plan.
Okay.
I don't know.
We'll have that talk another day.
I don't want to see a huge housing development go in, but
there you go.
No, I would agree. I mentioned it just because you and I spoke today that the language is in there about affordable housing, but they have to include it. I mean, so it's more a CYA thing for Mazer more than anything else. They have to do a complete job to even qualify for it being designated a redevelopment plan. So, and hopefully our goal is to get funding to cover the cost. We're already in talks with the county. Bonnie's going to be speaking with Highlands. I don't think they're going to give us really any money, but I mean, we're going to look for it. So hopefully the plan itself will be paid for. So should we just move on to the second snow in the street?
Why not just vote on this one as long as you've had the discussion?
Okay. Motion to approve resolution 085-2021.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus,
yeah.
Barry,
Yes.
Moore, Schwartz,
Yes.
Grange,
Yes.
and Hughes.
Yes.
Okay, resolution 091, snow in the street. Steve, I think you have...
I guess I think I understand it. I think that I understand the purpose of it, the objective. I guess I'm picturing people plowing parking lots and driveways and clearing sidewalks with snow blowers and having it shoot out in the street or block the roads and things like that. I'm assuming that's the primary objective of this. I guess I just, it doesn't specify amounts or blockage of road. I'm always a little worried when I look at something. I think, if somebody throws a few shovelfuls of snow into the street, technically they're violating this. I don't have anything against it. I don't know. I guess I'd love it if there was a thing that specified putting snow in the street so as to block traffic or people or transit or use or something. I don't know. I wouldn't want a neighbor to use this to get on another neighbor who, I don't know. It seems very open. That's all. And
I don't think it's that
fine.
open.
And what's that?
My perspective, and again, my driveway is horrible for the snow, so, but if the plows are on the road, you shouldn't be shoveling your snow in the street. I mean, that seems
I agree.
I think that it's a pretty broad, pretty big discussion that we need to have about some of the snow problems that we have around the borough, because we get it every year, and every year we get some of the same questions, and then we get some new questions. But that's all I'll say, because I'm not the one that's having the problem of dealing with a plow that's trying to get through snow and clear the roads, and then they go past the road and there's a whole new pile of snow in the middle of the road. You know what I mean? So
No, I once again, I agree with the idea of this. I'm not disagreeing with it. I guess I was just trying to clarify to myself, the purpose of it and stuff.
The objective is not to try to find people and make money off of this. The idea is just to make people aware that it's not a good idea to throw snow out there. And if they do, we don't have any recourse right now. So this gives the police the opportunity to say, warn these people that this is not the way you handle the snow.
Yeah.
As an enforcement tool, as Barton
Right.
always says.
Right.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
Yeah, the chief of police I think was talking to, and he said currently there's nothing for it, and it had been brought to our attention that people were plowing entire driveways out into the street slowly.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Okay.
Well,
Like I said,
I
just
have a bit of
clarifying.
concern on enforcement too, because on my street, when the DPW came by, they didn't plow the entire street. They got within 4 feet of the curb, and there's a passable lane through for your car, but I had to shovel the street in order to get out of my driveway. So what's really the difference between plowing or shoveling the apron of the next to the sidewalk, and actually I have to plow the street, or I have to shovel the street? I don't want to take the street snow and throw it on my property. I'm throwing it out in the street. Who's to say I'm shoveling? Who's to determine what snow I'm shoveling? My snow or the street snow?
It is a fine line, I guess.
I think we can all relate to this matter of how we all had to be shoveling the snow last week, right? So, I also have to deal with snow that's in my street, but I also want to make sure my mailbox is not taken out. So I'm comfortable that they're not coming right up against, but again, I don't want to be the one speaking to what the problem is, because I don't have firsthand knowledge of what this situation is. But like Bonnie said, I think that there is obviously an issue someplace. Maybe it's not on, our streets in particular, but maybe there is issues that need to be addressed. And this gives the police a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Leeway to address the situation.
Leverage.
Leverage.
Yeah,
Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
thinking about it too, I don't have this issue, but if people have a sidewalk around their property, or maybe they don't have grass or whatever to, property to shovel the snow to, where do these people end up putting the snow that, the plows, put onto their driveway or their sidewalks, because obviously they have to have the clearance there for people to get by. How does this affect those people?
Well,
Are we kind of trapping them?
The idea is to not put it on a roadway or a sidewalk that's already been cleaned.
Okay. So they basically have to get out there before the plows get out there. But then the plows are going to push it back.
I guess that's a good point. How does this apply to the middle of town?
That's always been the case. I mean, just in my house, I have been out front of my driveway with a pickaxe trying to break up the ice, and because they're not going to come back and clean it right to the end of my driveway. I mean, that's just,
Right.
it's not perfect. Personally, I hope it never snows again. But it's never same thing with the plowing and getting the cars off the road. We were at 2 inches, but does this work or not work? I mean, there's just no perfect solution.
I completely get that, and I'm one of those people too that have to clean up the end of the driveway and it gets plowed up again, clean it again. But I'm just thinking now that has been brought up with the people that don't have, like, I could throw it on my lawn and that's fine, but the people that don't have property, I don't know if this is going to become an issue for anyone that don't have
What about,
somewhere to throw that snow. Is there?
Do they not have driveways then?
well, what about businesses in town that don't have driveways and don't have lawns? Do they, I honestly don't know.
Well, the businesses are supposed to be shoveling their driveway, their sidewalks. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
This past week we did help them out, and again, I want to give credit where credit is due, because the guys really worked their butts off to clear that snow. Because quite frankly, the county, and I was out there, the county pushed 2 feet of snow, and the average person just can't shovel that on their sidewalk. So we did what we could. Is that going to happen every snowstorm? Absolutely not. We can't do that either. So, it's just, we really just have to do the best we can.
right. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
I see we have a question.
What? Where? Oh, Rick wants to speak.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Rick.
Good evening. Multiple questions or answers. Steve, to go with your first question, it's for the people that want to snow blow their entire driveway out into the street. It's for the people that want to pull their car out onto the street, clean their car on the street, shovel their driveway, and then pull their clean car back into their clean driveway. Alan, as far as your street, 2 foot of snow, we're trying to keep the center travel lanes open. It gets to a point where the small 8 foot, 9 foot plows can't push that amount of snow.
Rick, I wasn't trying to complain about the job.
I know, but I just I'm gathering all your questions and I just want to answer them. George, everyone's got a yard. Either we put the snow on your yard or you put your snow on your yard. I mean, this last storm, 2 foot, we're running out of room to put it. We've been told we were number 1 by some residents, good and bad. We're going to be hauling snow away from the streets for the next 2 weeks. The weather says the next 5 out of 7 days we're getting more of this white stuff. So we're doing the best we can, and there's nothing on the books right now as far as putting snow in the street. We have ordinances on the books about time limits to clean the sidewalks after a snowstorm. Chief Bartman went through the ordinance with Patrolman Andrusik. They found nothing on the books for those residents. And I'm going to use the 5% rule for the 5% of the people that they don't care. They take all their snow from their front stoop, their front driveway, their back steps, and they haul it right out onto the street. And now it becomes my issue to move their snow. So this just gives us another tool in the toolbox, per se, to try and help nip it in the bud.
And we are doing this by resolution, not by ordinance, because we want to see if it works the way we want it to.
Makes sense. No, thank you, Rick.
Yeah, and believe me, you can check every town, borough, township around us. We're the only one not to have this wording in our books.
Good. But no, thank you very much.
Thanks, Rick. I think you did a great job with that storm. I know that it's tough to move that amount of snow, like you're saying. I have my gap between the end of the road and the end of the driveway and the road, but I understand. And you guys can't get that tight with the plows for that weight.
Well, here's a little inside scoop. If you have a mailbox,
and the mailbox will be gone.
no, if you shovel or snow blow, like a 10 or 12-foot path before your mailbox or before your driveway,
yeah,
whatever we collect in between driveways will dump off in there and not in your driveway.
Yeah, I used to do that.
It's amazing how many people will flag us down, not want us to put snow in their driveway, but it's okay for us to put their snow in their neighbor's driveway. So there are mathematical YouTube versions of you clear out X amount of feet in front of your driveway, the roll off from the plow will fill that area instead of your driveway.
It all depends. It all depends on which one the plow's going down the street too.
Yeah.
Well, true. But when you're like me and you stay up all night watching snow plowing on YouTube,
I've watched more boring things. But yeah, once again, I didn't want to say you hadn't done a good job or to complain about this at all. I was just curious, and I watched the same guy drive by my house, I don't know, 8 times throughout that storm. Just kept going.
Yeah, there comes a point in time where if I'm not calling the guys in because it's just too dangerous to be out there, I tell the guys to keep the travel lanes open. It almost got to the point where I was gonna pull the guys off the side streets and just have them work on the main roads. I don't know if you guys know, but like the county roads, the 500 routes are the main evacuation routes. The 600s are the backups. So for us, it would be like Dewey, Washington, West Main. That would be our main roads, and all the other arteries, we would wait until well after the storm was done, but we were able to keep everything open. So there is a method behind the madness.
Okay, are we clear?
Sure, yes.
Okay, then can I get a motion to approve Resolution 091-2021?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Columbus,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Moore, Schwartz,
Yes.
Grange,
Yes.
and Hughes.
Yes.
On to the second round of public comments, 5 minutes per person.
All right. Going to open up the phone here. If there's any comments there, anybody else who has a hand up, we will also take your comments in turn. Is that Sally?
Yeah. Hey, everybody.
Hi, Sally.
Hey, Sally.
Hey, I came in late for this one. Sorry about that. But listen, I just wanted to say that, yes, I am counting. There are only 38 days until spring. Yes.
Yes.
And
Great news.
what that...
Groundhog.
No, that's cool. It's awesome news, and it basically means, spring is one of the 2 days in the whole year where day and night are equal. And everything after March 20th means we're going to have more light in every day than we do have dark. And boy, do we need that.
Yes.
Just saying. All right, just simple, and that's it. So, hey, Highbridge, spring is only, like 38 days away. Yay!
Thanks, Sally.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're on mute, Adam.
I am on mute. I don't see any other hands.
Okay. On to communications.
Oh, wait. I see it.
Oh. Rick, do you have a question?
Good question there, Rick.
No, I was just gonna say, some of our biggest storms have been in March. That's it.
Oh, thanks.
Real
Thanks a
down,
lot.
Rick. Thanks.
I'm gonna make sure to shovel 10 feet each way on the front of my house then.
You're not invited back.
All right.
Okay, now on to communications.
All right, for communications, monthly tax and finance reports, we have the January zoning report. We have a letter of thanks to the Department of Public Works for the great work in the snow, and the annual landlord registration relief letter in there as well.
Okay. Approval of the bill list.
Total of $909,348.63.
Motion to approve the bill list.
Move.
Second?
Roll call.
Columbus,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Moore, Schwartz,
Yes.
Grange,
Yes.
and Hughes.
Yes.
All right. If there's no further business, motion to adjourn.
Move.
Second?
Roll
Second.
call.
Columbus,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Moore, Schwartz,
Yes.
Grange,
Yes.
and Hughes.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Next council meeting, 7:30 via Zoom. I was thinking today, because there's been a lot of talk about when we can get back to in-person meetings. And, I really want to do that too. But the nice thing about these Zoom meetings is we don't have to wear masks.
Yes.
We can actually see smiles. And you know what? I'll take that
Yeah.
over an in-person meeting, to be honest.
You're
So,
right.
Okay.
Great.
Silver lining.
silver lining. That's all. I just need to look for a silver lining in all of this. So,
That's a good point.
thanks, you guys. Have a good night.
Good night.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye bye.